Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Pardon Our Picks, where perfection is a work in progress. I'm your host, Sam. Alongside me, as always, the Orange Bomber, Tarek DeFries. How you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good, Mr. Branham. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. We have, of course, Football Jesus. How's that gospel?
Well, I guess we'll see, but I'm feeling pretty good. I haven't seen the records yet, but miracles happen.
Miracles do happen, unfortunately not in your case. And of course, the QB coach, Jessica Prince, of course, our leader. How are you?
As usual.
Uh-huh.
I'm good. I feel good tonight.
And then, of course, we have the rookie with us again today. How you doing tonight?
Doing good.
Yeah? You ready to do this?
Yeah.
That's right. So, of course, we are brought to you by Aardvark Concepts Incorporated. Aardvark Concepts, more than just a sign shop. And In Too Deep of Maryland. Catch them at Caddy's this weekend, the 11th. It's going to be a great show. Go ahead and check them out. We had at least one good game this in the championship week. The Cincinnati Bengals against the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, the other one, unfortunately, without a decent backup quarterback, you're pretty much screwed. So, but there was a little controversy with the refs, some of the calls. I gotta ask, do you guys think that the refs influence the games?
I mean, I'll start off. I 100% believe they do, and I don't think that this past week, getting behind the Iron Curtain here a little bit, but there's just been history of this. I mean, there was the one, 2 years ago, the Rams-Saints game where there's clearly defensive pass interference, and the refs chose to not throw the flag on that. I mean, the guy was nearly decapitated, and they continue to play. So I 100% believe that the refs do have an influence on the game, and they choose which calls are chosen to be called. And really, it's unfortunate because, I mean, the Bengals and the Chiefs are probably one of the two more well-matched teams, and I would really have loved to watch that game without any outside influence and just let those two teams go at it and not have it end the way that it ended.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about this. I don't really have a strong opinion because I feel like every game is influenced by the refs, and I don't think it's intentional. I think it's just human error. And whether or not they are professionals, which they are, and they're absolutely doing jobs that none of us could do, and they're good at their jobs, but emotion plays into it, maybe fatigue, maybe what they think they see, or opinion. So they influence every single game, whether it's a playoff game or not. It just gets more scrutiny when it's at the end of the season. So they could have influenced the Bengals even getting to that point. So I mean, yeah, they absolutely have influence on it, and I don't think it's intentional. I don't think they're trying to in any way throw the game, obviously, but I definitely think it happens, but it happens all year.
This is a hot topic for me because I 100% believe they do. I agree with Jess that it happens all year round, and it probably may happen more depending on what's going on in the playoffs. But I 100% believe they're doing it, and I believe they're doing it on purpose. We saw it for how many years with Brady with the Patriots. Brady's out. New golden boy is Patty Mahomes. So I think they're in his pocket. He's in their pocket. They sent him. And people like me who are like, I'm tired of seeing the same team in the Super Bowl every year. They're like, we don't care about you. Go away. We're putting them in. So, I mean, yeah, he's good and good enough to play with a bum ankle and still do what he did. But there's some of those calls that just blew my mind. I mean, there's Brady's talking about past playoffs and past games. There's a really big one I remember. I think I may have brought this up on the show before. The Ravens were playing the Steelers, and they're in the hut. They're getting ready to call, and the whistle blows. It blows the play dead before it even starts, and they're like, holding, offensive. I'm like, How can you hold before you hike the ball? But that was the call. And there was for a while, everyone was so mad at the refs. ESPN did a show. They did a segment where they had the leader of the refs association explain the calls, and all he did was justify why the refs are gods. And that lasted a week, and then they canceled it and never did it again. And I think what they do now with what's his name answering what the plays are and how they're calling it during the game, I like that a little bit more transparency. But I still think it's 100% rigged. Yeah, if they're gonna do it, they should do like NASCAR. NASCAR fully admits. They fully admit. They're like, we don't want him to win. Wave the flag. We're good. So they fully admit that they rigged the races. So NFL should just come out with it.
Hell, he loves NASCAR.
I love NASCAR, but
They're
Anyway,
making another left turn.
that is my only complaint. Is they should do like at least a figure eight or something to have them have to turn different ways. But
a figure eight, huh?
Yeah, figure eight that overlaps the track, so we get more like T-bone collisions.
yeah, so you gotta time it like a Hot Wheels track.
Give me a red light.
Yeah,
Anyway.
200 to 0, 200 miles an hour to 0 in 5 feet.
Listen, yeah, they do influence games. I mean, especially in the playoffs, you find that teams are so they're the best of the best at that point, and everything comes down to inches. And if you're gonna give certain teams certain things, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be the favor's gonna go one way or another. However, I haven't seen as much bias as some people talk about. Yeah, Tom Brady did get a lot of calls. But given that he still lost a few, and mind you, I see the skepticism from the Orange Bomber coming from his love of Peyton Manning, and the fact that he just couldn't get over Tom Brady. Last week there was some controversial calls, but that last call at the end, which won it for Kansas City, absolutely was the right call. Dude was out of bounds. He still hit him. And that was the right call. So that game, maybe if some of the calls were right, wouldn't have come down to that. I don't know. Yeah, revisionist history is hindsight's 2020, stuff like that. I don't think that they influence it as much as people think. And I don't believe there's a script because it's really hard to hit some of those things. They're professionals, but it's really hard to do some of the things and get it on point, as you see, as some people claim, and is scripted.
Oh yeah, I'm not claiming that far. I'm just saying that like the truth is somewhere in the gray areas in between. I think they're doing something. Goodell likes controlling way too much and too much other things at stake. So I think it's there, and it just may not be like
It wouldn't be
51 level conspiracy.
It wouldn't be unprecedented for the refs to be colluding on their own. I mean, if you look back at the NBA history, there was a guy that was taking bets from the mob to influence games, but that one's an easier game to influence because you can call
Great
it
documentary, by the way. You should watch that if you haven't.
What was it, Donahue? Something like that? Bill Donahue?
It was something like, it's on Netflix, folks. You should
Yeah.
definitely go watch it.
So in that sport, absolutely, that guy was caught, and it was a big thing. And he ended up making money off it anyway because book deals and whatever. But it's harder to do in the NFL because it's just a lot of that stuff is. I mean, if it's so easy to see. If somebody's doing something like Tarek said with the holding call before they even start, you can see that stuff ahead of time. There's video everywhere of this stuff now, and it's so hard to get away with it. I don't think they're influencing the game as much as some people think. But yes, there is some influence there. So what do you think? You think the refs influence games? Yeah.
Smart kid.
Yeah.
By the way, folks, it is called Untold Operation Flagrant Foul on Netflix.
Cool. Thank you
Also,
very much.
apparently the 30 for 30 on the Ravens recently came out.
That's true. That's true.
It was fantastic.
That's
That's
the
what I heard.
last time we see Tony Siragusa. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. God rest
Wait a
his
minute,
soul.
they did something to paint the Ravens in a good light. I don't understand.
They're coming around.
ESPN did it. It wasn't the
Yeah.
NFL.
Oh, it wasn't the NFL. Okay.
It wasn't
Yes.
the NFL, and it was only
There you go.
essentially about the defense.
Oh, okay.
All right. Let's take a look and remind us of the standings
Yes, please.
to begin. And I'm not gonna lie, as far as things go, things didn't change much in the playoffs.
What?
Jessica
That's
is
what I thought too, Sammy. What? I got
far
I got a
ahead.
recount.
How did I get that many right in the playoffs?
Sam, you and I won the wild card. High five.
We did. Ha! And we're tied.
And
Same
I did
divisional.
horribly in the playoffs. How did I get that many right?
Because
You
we
got
all
that
did.
many right. We're gonna take a look.
3-0-3.
So
'Cause
let's
I
take
had
a look.
no one.
We're gonna start with Brady's bracket. Of course. Everybody got the Bills wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that screwed everybody over.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was the big one right there. The Bills and San Francisco for him going to the Super Bowl was a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
They
I
could've.
will be a man of my word, and I said that anyone could play quarterback for the San Francisco Niners, and we kind of figured out that it's not Josh Johnson. So
Everyone but Josh Johnson.
anyone but Josh Johnson could play quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers and do well, but
Of course, he went out on
There's an S on here.
because those were wrong picks.
Wrong pick.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
but-
real bad at this, Sam. You'll learn that next year too.
Oh yeah, that's okay. I didn't do too much better. Yeah, of course, he went out on a limb and picked the Ravens to win Week 1.
Okay, to be fair, we all watched that game. I know everyone at home is watching that game too. If we didn't call a QB sneak from the 3,
Hands out.
we would have won that game. So,
Yep, exactly.
and
That-
if Tyler Huntley had gone under instead of over, like
Oh, I went off on that. I went off. on
Or
that.
I mean, any of those
You want?
rushing plays on the outside that we're working all game.
Any of them.
If
I'm
Tyler
glad
Huntley-
Greg Roman is gone.
Yes.
I'm glad you're gone, and I hope you go nowhere.
If Tyler Huntley were an actual quarterback, then that would have helped too.
I mean, he is an actual quarterback. He went to the Pro Bowl, man. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't just let anyone go to the Pro Bowl.
I
It is
mean,
like
he had 2 touchdowns.
I
And went
have
to the Pro
said
Bowl.
I have said for years that Pro Bowl as a stat for your career is bogus. It's a fan vote. It shouldn't
he's-
mean anything.
That
He
wasn't a
was the
fan,
fan
vote.
vote of the 7th to get there. So yeah,
That was Tyler Huntley getting there was not a fan vote.
Yes, but 99% of the other people there were.
Yeah, that was actually the league, the players picking him. So
But you were the 7th choice. Don't you didn't get on the podium. You were somewhere down the line, and they were like, "Oh yeah, here's a medal. Go for it."
What's that meme of the guy when they're giving the kid the gold medal and he's like biting on it? He's like,
Lighting it
yeah,
and
and he's
spraying
all the way
himself
down
with
here.
champagne,
yes.
and he's like 15 down. That's Tyler Huntley. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. Jessica, see, this is where
pretty similar here.
it's similar to a point, but you had Philly, you had KC, so and you had the Bengals.
Can't wait to see yours, Sam.
Nope. Oh yeah, that's okay. You're gonna see this one first.
I mean, the only one that was super shocking was the Bills one
yeah, absolutely.
out of these.
They were
Rest
never
of
in
them
that
were-
game. They were
Mm.
never even in that game.
Yeah, I
I
know.
was like, are they going to come back? Are they going to come back? And I was over at my parents' house for my mom's birthday, and I'm like, what are they doing? What?
It was so shocking.
They
I don't
didn't.
even remember
They
it.
lost the way they did.
It honestly, it felt like one of those games, and I hate saying this old sports cliche, that they kind of overlooked their opponent. Like they were like, "Oh, we don't need to prep for them. We're going to beat them, no problem." And the Bengals came out and took it to them.
Mhm.
And then by the time the Bills realized, like, "Oh, we got to wake up," like 2.5 quarters had gone by.
Yeah.
But other than that, Jessica had a pretty good bracket, and this is why she
It's because it was chalk, Sam. It was chalk.
is beating the crap out of all this. Yeah, it was chalk. Thanks, Jess.
Bow
Good to know
down.
the chalk.
All right.
Bow to the queen.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll get you next year, Gadget.
Mhm.
All right, let's move on to Terex
Oh my.
and his pick for the Jaguars to make it to the AFC Championship.
But at least they won one game. I got that one right.
They
You
did win
did.
one
I don't
game.
care if the rest was
Well-
wrong. That one was right.
That one and the Giants too.
And the Giants, yeah.
Yep.
Bold move, Cotton.
It worked out for him for 1 week.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with the Bucks loss because Tom Brady is done for good.
Yeah. Well, I'll
Yours is
believe that
next.
when
We
we're
get to
like
see
on
your
week
bracket.
7 and he's not
Okay.
on a roster.
Yeah, we're gonna get to like October or something, and he's gonna be like, "Hey Gronk, let's go."
And they'll run on the field in like Atlanta. No word or anything. It's just he's suited up at quarterback in Atlanta with Gronk for some reason.
Yeah.
All right. Now for a little bit of nuttiness.
Oh.
Oh, this is Sammy's.
Sammy's. Little
Sure.
Homer in them picked
Should've picked the
Baltimore's.
birds.
Yeah, you did pick the Birds, but they lost. But
Good choice though, man.
he did, however, pick the Cowboys in the first week. He was right on that,
Mhm.
which he never picked.
He was just throwing you a bone.
That was
He
yeah,
was.
that was a gimme pick. He wanted to
Yeah,
make sure
well-
he was going to get a good birthday present this year from Dad.
It's okay, but next year we're gonna do a little better, right?
I feel like Sammy's got the power with the Cowboys. Like if he had actually picked them, they might have gone.
Oh,
all
yeah.
the
I know.
way.
Sammy's got the fix. It's not the refs, it's Sammy.
That's right. You got the inside scoop. You got that inside scoop? No. He's been paid to say no. So,
It's his cover.
Mom's staring him down from behind the camera. You don't
Yeah.
tell him anything.
all right. Now let's take a look at mine.
Yeah,
you
it
can-
is.
You can see where I went wrong. You know,
Yeah. hmm
It's the Homer pick, and then we all kind of expected the Bills to kind of run the gambit.
Yeah. I mean, they looked like they were going to.
and in the first 3 quarters, it looked like the Chargers were gonna go too. But
Well, that's a game that I feel like we could spend 30 minutes talking about just in that and what happened and then what didn't happen in that game. But
did I get it all wrong?
Could if I could remember it, but I can't.
Chargers were up like 27-0 going to the third and a half quarter,
Yep.
and the Jaguars
it.
came all the way back.
Yeah, but
It was-
why? Like, was there bad calls after that? After the half, was there like I
The
mean, bad
Chargers-
calls
They
like
choked.
were the
They choked.
Chargers like not like just playing it super safe and just not getting anything.
It wasn't even that. Like the Chargers were still playing press coverage, but like the 50-50 balls that the Chargers defense were intercepting in the first half, the Jaguars players were coming down with. Yeah, they were breaking tackles. They were making
Oh yeah.
really good play calls on the Jaguar sideline, and I give Doug Peterson all the credit in the world because he turned that franchise around in the span of a
Yeah.
year. So
Yeah.
He
I mean,
did.
good
everybody
on them.
expected that he would, but
I mean, he threw 4 interceptions in the first half, 3 in the first quarter, and still won the game.
gutsy performance from Trevor Lawrence, and I'm sad it didn't continue because I would have been pulling for him if they did.
Yeah, and that was my hope.
Yeah,
and I
well-
know I picked him to go a little far. I get that, but I'm rooting for the kid. So
all right.
All right, now our Super Bowl matchup: Kansas City versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, football Jesus, give us your winner, give us your score, give us that gospel.
Oh man. Well, this is kind of not where I don't think anyone on this panel wanted this to be the Super Bowl matchup.
No,
But
clearly,
I'm leaning towards what I honestly think is the smarter pick. And I'm going to say that Philadelphia is going to win this by a score of 33-30. And I think that's on the strength of their
Oh,
defense.
this looks like Steven.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think Philly wins this on the
Because he
strength of
got
their
less.
defense. I've
because he don't
become a real
four or
believer
5 or
in
6.
Jalen Hurts this year. He's played phenomenally and shown what happens when you get a struggling quarterback, a number one receiver. But I
Jesus.
don't see him having enough to win on his own, and which is why I think a late defensive score by Philly's defense is going to be the difference maker in this game. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has shown that he can do anything under the sun under quarterback. But my real key of this game is going to be Philly's defense going against a potentially depleted Kansas City, because now there's like some random illness going through the Kansas City camp. So we'll see, but my money's on Philly.
All right. Now, our leader, Jessica.
Your fearless leader. So
I didn't agree to that.
Draw it up, Jess.
This isn't
Eric
a
is filing a
democracy. This isn't a democracy. It's
it's a cheerocracy.
yeah.
Just kidding.
These aren't spirit fingers. These are spirit fingers.
So it's
fingers.
logically, yeah, I think with the condition of the Kansas City Chiefs, I think the Eagles are the easier pick. But I am actually going with Kansas City because number one, no offense, even though this is very offensive, I think the Eagles fans do not need to go any further. Okay.
You don't
They
have
are-
to tell me.
They are the worst fans in the league in general. But
Hot take. Hot take.
when you assault Santa Claus and you like pull down light poles and stuff just because things don't go your way, or you like boo your own players, or you just you're not a good fan. Anyway, it's also really hard to pick against Andy Reid. I mean, his career 28-4 coming off of a bye, 4-0 when that's with Mahomes and in the postseason. So, I mean, they have the experience, whereas, you know, the Eagles have a lot of inexperience in the postseason as of late, like their current staff. Injury wise, I think Mahomes is going to look a lot better than people expect him to with the ankle. I think he's going to be a little bit more mobile than people are expecting. They also have some people coming off of injury. There is that mystery illness, but as far as actual injuries, you know, Tony
It's like
Snead.
he picked that one, just one.
Yep.
I'm picking the
Is it?
KC one.
Because 31, he's only got one.
And which number's bigger, Sammy?
Which is 32, 33, and
Which one of those numbers is
34.
there? 34.
So, that's right. So, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have a better offensive game. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes, I mean, even in the Bengals game, you just see him putting the ball where no one else can. It doesn't matter how many guys there are covering. It doesn't matter how small it is. He's putting it exactly where it needs to be. And like no one does that like he does. So I think we're going to see some of that. I think the Eagles are going to force them to throw the ball, which they are already pretty pass happy. Pacheco, how do you say that? Pacheco.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a tough time for sure. And then I think as on the Eagles side, you know, I think Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, they're gonna have a lot of receiving yards. I'm kind of curious if the Eagles are gonna flop a little bit because the Kansas City Chiefs do have a bit of a chip on their shoulder, something to prove right now. And the Eagles have done extremely well against some teams and extremely poorly against others that were not great teams like the Steelers. But they are going to trade off with Gainwell and Sanders on their rushing attack. They have the best or one of the best O-lines in the league, so their rushing attack should look pretty good. Other than that, you know, top defense, I really think it's going to come down to Patrick Mahomes is not going to make offensive mistakes. So they're not going to be able to capitalize on anything with that. He doesn't fumble the ball, whereas I think Hurts will. I
Yeah.
think Hurts is going to make some offensive mistakes that are going to cost them, and it's going to be really close, 34-31. Ball control is going to be what it comes down to.
Gotcha. So Tarek, I think she only left you special teams to talk about. So
Oh, sorry.
You
I
gotta
know.
make an addendum for next year. Jess has to go last.
I will
we're-
repeat things.
I don't have much to talk about, and Jess just took it all.
Well, I didn't say anything about their top defense with 70 sacks or
I just say random names. Eventually, I'll call someone who actually plays for one of these teams.
It doesn't what's that? Donovan McNabb, don't he play quarterback still?
Nick Foles, is Nick Foles still here?
Like
Yeah,
Randall Cunningham, I think.
Terrell Owens gonna have a great game. I'm
What
telling
about
you.
what about that guy Mark Wahlberg played? He's still on there.
Vince Papale.
Oh, God.
I swear, if they put Mark Wahlberg on the screen during this game, I'm gonna lose it.
All right. Who do I agree with? Which one of my co-hosts? I'm actually going with Football Jesus here, so I'm going with the Eagles on this one.
Well,
went
no,
back
you're
and
wrong
forth.
then. So
I figure I'm gonna be wrong. No.
The Eagles are favored.
Yeah, but I mean, on paper doesn't always mean anything. We always talk about what's on paper, what the stats mean, what this is, the percentages. Any given Sunday, whoever's going to
Throw
win.
it out the window.
Yeah, so I think I got 27-24. Yeah, 27-24 Philly. So from a heart standpoint, my Broncos fan inside of me can't root for Kansas City. My watching Super Bowl every year side of me can't root for Kansas City. So Patrick Mahomes, he has shown, I mean, he was hurt, bum ankle, and did what I can't do in shape. So, but stranger things have happened. Weirder Super Bowls have happened. I think just Philly wants it, and I agree with Jess. Just the reports of all the fans and everything. I don't know about the worst. I've seen some pretty bad fans, but they're definitely up there. But I'm going more with heart on this one. That like I just really don't want Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City to win again.
But they're great.
And they're becoming he's becoming my new Tom Brady since Tom Brady's on his way.
they're gonna become the new New York Yankees if they continue this, and I can't.
Yeah. I can't. I hate the teams that just dominate. It just bothers me. I can't stand it. It's like I want to see a rotation. Like they're in every single year. Like I can't. I'm like, can I root for anybody else, please? So, but I think the Eagles got a shot. Stranger things have happened. I'm going with Philly.
Okay. Move on to the rookies pick. Let's take a look at what Sammy picked. Who did you pick? Gotta use your words.
The equal.
The Eagles. Yeah. What was the score?
30.
To
23.
That's right. This little man has got the Eagles winning.
Ow.
Why do you think the Eagles are going to win?
Because it's a bird.
Because it's a bird.
Because a bird can pick up an arrowhead and fly away.
How about a chief? Can I pick up a chief?
It's big
No.
enough.
No, I can't.
Is it an eagle from Lord of the Rings? Like then you can.
I could do multiple Chiefs at once.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you kidding right now? I'm joking.
You silly goober. All right.
I never joke.
Now let's move on to my pick. And yeah, Jessica sits alone. With
As she stands.
And walks away because she can't hear this BS anymore.
That's right. She's done with this, and it's as much as I hate the Eagles. I hate them. I picked them to win 35-33. This one hurts. It really does, because I was really hoping that Cincinnati would make it. I'd have been okay with San Francisco making it over the Eagles.
Kids, 35.
That's right. But I just, with the way Kansas City is currently ailing, they're currently having issues on the Kansas City side, and Philadelphia is just, they're on fire, man. Their defense is hot. They're going to get to Mahomes. The last time Mahomes was in the playoffs, he was running for his life, and I think he's going to be doing something similar this time. Except he'll have a little bit of chance to come back, and I think it'll come down to a last-second field goal. There's that special teams talk.
Yep. The team's on fire because the fans actually lit the city on fire.
Yeah, and they will after the game. So,
Good thing we're only an hour and a half away.
Fire doesn't spread that fast, does it?
I'm kind of hoping that Kansas City. I'm really hoping Kansas City wins, simply because I can't stand Philly. Just can't do it. But my head's telling me Philly's going to win this one, and I don't even think it's going to be. I'm saying it's this close because of Mahomes only, but it might not. It might not. It might be a blowout.
I do see this potentially being one of the highest scoring Super Bowls in history, just because of the caliber of both offenses and Philly's defense being one of the best in the league. So I'm honestly excited to watch this, but again, like we said, any other two teams would be great.
I'm only excited to watch this because I got Super Bowl blocks.
Same. I got a couple.
So,
all right.
Like us.
I knew he was gonna do it. I knew it.
Man, he was
gave him
fast.
time.
He was so
that's
fast.
Mr. Tarek's job.
Sammy, you do a really good
I
job.
did it first.
He does a top-notch job. I'm not
Yes,
gonna-
he does a fantastic
Oh
job.
my
That's my
God.
job, little man.
Oh, bye.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for a good football season. We appreciate it. We have a blast doing this and being stupid and making Jess roll her eyes at us every single week. Hope you all had a great football season. Click like, comment who you think is gonna win the Super Bowl. What the score is. Subscribe. You never know when we're gonna put up a random thing over the summer. If not, we will see you guys next football season. And as always, I'm Tarek.
I'm Jess.
I'm Football Jesus.
Who are you?
Sam.
And I'm Big Sam. And you have a great Super Bowl weekend.
Happy off season, y'all.
Happy off season. Bye, guys.
Bye.